and welcome. Have you ever just stopped and looked, really looked, at a snowflake? Or maybe wondered how a tiger gets its stripes? Well, today we're gonna pull back the curtain and look at the secret language that connects pretty much everything in our universe.
And before we dive in, I want to give a huge special shout out to the Bachelor of Secondary Education freshmen over at Romblon State University's San Fernando campus. It is so awesome to have you all here. And of course, a very warm welcome to your professor, Dr. Villaren M. Vibas. We are just thrilled you're joining us today.
Okay, let me ask you something. Be honest. When you hear the word math, what's the first thing that jumps into your mind? I bet for a lot of us, it's numbers, maybe some X's and Y's, long equations, maybe even the stress of a pop quiz, right? But what if? What if that's just a tiny piece of the puzzle? What if math is actually something way bigger, something more beautiful?
So, here's our game plan for today. First, we're gonna become art detectives and find the world's hidden art. Then we'll get a guide to understanding patterns. We'll uncover how math is basically nature's native language, why any of this actually matters to you, and finally, how your own journey starts right now. Let's do this. All right, first up, let's talk about the world's hidden art. This is all about training our eyes to see the things we look at every single day in a completely new light. It's about finding something amazing in something totally ordinary.
Let's start with something super small. Just picture a single snowflake landing on your jacket. You know, they say no two are alike, which is mind-blowing, and yet every single one has this perfect six-sided symmetry. It's like a perfect little rule, written in ice, every single time.
Now, let's jump over to the animal kingdom. Think about a tiger. Those incredible, bold stripes, they're not just random decorations, no way. They are a perfectly designed pattern for camouflage, a kind of visual rhythm that helps it vanish into the shadows of the tall grass.
And it's not just stripes, you see these amazing designs everywhere. You see it in the wild spots on a trunkfish, or that mesmerizing, almost alien pattern on a stingray. These designs aren't just painted on, they literally grow out of a biological code.
Okay, now let's zoom out, way out. Look up at the night sky. The stars themselves trace these huge, sweeping circles as the Earth turns. It's a massive, cosmic pattern, a celestial clock that people have been using to navigate for thousands of years. So what's the connection? A tiny snowflake, a huge tiger, a fish deep in the ocean, and a star millions of miles away. What do they all share? You got it. They are all expressions of patterns. These repeating, regular, predictable designs are absolutely everywhere once you start looking for them.
But, just saying, hey, that's a pattern is really just the first step. To really get what's going on, we need to organize them a bit. So let's crack open a guide to the secret categories of patterns.
And it turns out there are tons of different kinds. We've been looking at natural ones, obviously. But think about the geometric patterns in buildings. Or patterns of change, like how we get winter, spring, summer, and fall. There are even patterns hiding in things that look totally random. That's where you get into really cool stuff like fractals and chaos theory. And yep, there are patterns in numbers, in logic, even in the words I'm saying right now.
So now we can start putting some labels on the things we've seen. The stars moving through the sky, that's a pattern of motion. The seasons changing year after year, that's a cycle. And that perfect snowflake shape, that's symmetry, a rule you can also find right in your own body.
And we can get even more specific, especially in the animal world. We can make a category called stripes and spots for fish like the trunkfish and the angelfish, or a category just for stripes for animals like tigers, zebras, and even some snakes. All of a sudden, nature isn't just a collection of cool animals. It's like a living library of patterns.
Okay, so we've seen patterns, we've started to categorize them. Now we get to the big reveal, the main event. What in the world does all this art and nature and animals have to do with the subject you're all about to study? Well, the answer is everything.
This right here is the modern way to think about math. Forget everything you thought you knew. Math at its heart is the powerful system that humans created to recognize, to classify, and then to use the patterns we find all around us in the natural world. It's a tool for understanding.
Let me put it another way. If the universe is this giant, incredible book full of amazing stories and pictures, then mathematics is the language it's written in. It gives us the grammar, the vocabulary, the ability to not just admire the beauty, but to actually read and understand the rules that create that beauty in the first place.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, that's a pretty cool thought, but so what? Why does this actually matter for me sitting here about to take a new class? This is a totally fair question, and the answer is that this skill has some real practical benefits for your education and your life. Learning to see and understand patterns is like gaining a superpower. It helps you in 3 huge ways. First, you get practical applications, from predicting the weather to building the phone in your pocket. Second, it's a workout for your brain. It's major intellectual growth that helps you think critically and solve all kinds of problems. And third, on a much deeper level, it helps you find your place in the universe. It connects you to the deep, fundamental rules that make the world tick. And that brings us to you, right now. You are standing at the very beginning of this amazing intellectual adventure. And this new way of seeing the world, well, that's your first step. Because when you study patterns, you're not just doing homework. You are learning to see the hidden rules of how everything works. It's like the quote says, you're revealing the fundamental logic of natural processes. And that gives you incredible insights into the entire universe, from how a tiny seed grows to how the global economy works. So that Math in the Modern World course on your schedule, it's not just another required class. I want you to think of it as the next leg of this incredible journey. It's your training ground to become a professional pattern finder. So I'll just leave you with this question. As you start this adventure, what amazing unseen patterns are you going to be the one to discover? Hey, thank you so much for joining us for this. To all the students at Romland State University, we are wishing you the absolute best on your course. We hope you have a blast. If you like this explainer, we'd really appreciate it if you'd hit like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment on our channel, No Problem, Only Solution. Until next time, keep your eyes open and keep looking for the patterns.